Hi, everyone. Welcome to the GHCI CFS Roadshow. Thanks for joining us. My name is Shruti Satsangi, and I work with ABI India. And we have with us one of our veteran volunteers, Divya, and she will be walking you through the call for submissions process, tell you a little bit more about the conference, the tracks this year, and how you can and submit to the conference and how you can improve your submission so that you have a better chance of being selected. So I'll pass it over to Divya, and she can tell you a little bit more.
Hi all, good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. So I'm going to take you through a few slides which will give you some basic information for participating in GHCI, and towards the end of the session we will take up questions from you. If you still have queries that are not clarified post the broadcast. So I'm going to walk you through the slides now. So GHCI is hosted by ABI. ABI has its prime mission to connect, inspire, and guide women in computing and organizations. That's one of the reasons why ABI hosts GHCI every year. And GHCI is the largest tech conference for women in India. It's this year we are going to host it in BIEC, which is a little further from the Taj Vivanta where it happened the last year. We've moved to a new location primarily because we have to host quite a huge number of women. Every year, the number of attendees for the conference is increasing. So we have opted to host it in a bigger space where we'll be able to accommodate everybody. And this year, the conference is going to happen on November 16th and 17th. This is some highlights and statistics from the last year's GHC. If you look at the participation, you can see that it has increased about 4x since 2010. It has come to about 3,000 odd attendees the last year. So this can correlate to the reason why we have moved to a bigger space. There are about 305 corporate and academic organizations that participated the last year, and people came in from about 67 cities across India. The number of submissions that were received were about 1,865. So this shows why you if you had submitted something, it probably got rejected, or you weren't able to kind of participate in the conference, primarily because the number of submissions which came in was pretty huge and the number of attendees were also pretty huge. So maybe that was one of the reasons why you weren't able to participate or attend the conference. So please make sure that whenever you submit something, you do due diligence in making it the best submission from your end so that it gets selected. This is something about the GHCI leadership. We have council members who are volunteers from different organizations. We have an ops advisory team. They look at the process improvement for the conference. So if you have any feedback or if you have given any feedback, all this will be taken care of by the ops advisory team. Then there are the chairs. There are about 2 chairs per track. They own the track, they program manage the track, they ensure that the best submissions out of the ones that have been submitted are selected to be presented at the conference. Then we have the ambassadors. The ambassadors are new this year. So the ambassadors are representatives who are part of different organizations, and each organization would have an ambassador who has all the data about the conference. If in case you have any queries, the first person to walk to in your organization would be the ambassador in your organization, because that person would have all the details related to the conference and would be able to help you with all the details. Then we have the reviewers. The reviewers is the largest community in the leadership team. These are volunteers who review your submissions. The ones that you submit, they are reviewed by the reviewers, and these reviewers would be the ones who choose which one is the best to be taken to the conference. So if you want to be a reviewer, all you need to do is talk to the ambassador in your organization, and if you get nominated, this is one of the best ways to participate in the conference and contribute. Um, these are the council members. There are about 6 council members this year. There's Nivedita, Hema, Asha, Shushma, Lakshmi, and Sashi. Uh, these could be people from your organization, so it'll be worthwhile for you to make a note of the names. This is the Arts Council team. Like I said, they take care of the improvements in the process. If you have any process related improvements that you want to suggest, please do suggest it to the ops team, and they would take care of improvising the entire process and making the conference a better experience for you. These are the chairs. There are about 10 tracks, if you can look at it, and each track has about 2 chairs. The chairs come in from multiple different organizations. This helps make the selection process unbiased because we have representatives from multiple different companies, and similarly the reviewers in each track, they are also from different companies, so definitely the selection is very very unbiased because there are different people who look at it and then pick the best out of the submissions. This is the set of milestones for the conference this year. If you can look at the dates, you can observe that the call for submissions is currently open. It opened up on April 3rd. It's currently ongoing, and we are going to accept submissions till June 2nd. So if you have any good idea in mind which you want to put ahead for the conference, please do go ahead and submit it. The other thing which you need to note is May 5th uh, is a prime date because if you submit on or before May 5th, you would be qualifying for an early bird review. This is something new which we brought in this year. So if you submit on or before May 5th, your submission will be reviewed and we'll give you first cut feedback on your submission so that you can improvise it and then resubmit it. So maybe the chances for you to get into the conference would improve once you improvise. But there is a keyword here. You have to note that early bird submission doesn't qualify you to get into the conference. It only helps you make your submission better. It does not guarantee anything in terms of your submission being qualified or selected for the conference. We will give you initial cut feedback which will help you improvise the submission, and the rest of the dates are pretty much on the web page as well. We the accepts and rejects would be notified in August, and the poster decisions would also be notified in August, and the scholarship decisions would take the end of August to be notified. These dates are also available on the web page, so I would recommend you to go to the web page and take a look at these dates. Okay, this is the most important slide in the deck. This slide has a summary of all the conference tracks. If you look at the conference tracks, there are technical tracks and then there's a non-tech track. The tech tracks cover a variety of topics, right from artificial intelligence to data mining to machine learning, human-computer interaction, emerging technologies, big data, IoT, and cloud. Then we have techno-social innovation, which is a new track which we have introduced this year, and we also have the posters. The data about all these tracks is available on the website as to what set of topics fall into each of these tracks. You can go and take a look at the details against all of these. And the most important thing is each of these tracks have 4 formats in which we accept the submissions. If you'd like your topic to be a presentation, then you could format it as a presentation, or if you would want to propose a detailed workshop on the topic in your mind, you can go ahead and propose a workshop. Or if you think you want to go ahead with a panel discussion, then you could identify speakers and then propose a panel discussion on the topic that you have in mind. We also have something called as lightning talk, which is maybe a high level pitch of the topic in mind, but the lightning talk needs to be framed in such a way that it's a topic which is maybe a new topic. Like, for example, you can look at something like supersonic travel, which is emerging, and which is something which people would be interested to hear at a high level. So you will have to pick a topic which fits the kind of format that you want to go with. So please ensure that instead of putting a topic which does not have content in presentation, you can maybe think about proposing the right format for it. Maybe a poster would be a better choice, or maybe a panel discussion would be a better choice. So I would request you to spend some good amount of time thinking about the right format for the content in hand, and then go ahead and submit the topic. So the going on to the non-technical tracks, this time you would see that there is just one non-technical track, which is the career mastery. So career mastery is going to be a track which will host a wide variety of topics, starting from basic uh, college to corporate transition, to mid-level career challenges that you might face in the corporate world, or even something contemporary like mindfulness at workplace. So please go ahead and submit all the non-technical topics in the career mastery track. We also have another non-technical track, which is a closed door session for senior women. These will be curated topics which would be hosted at the conference, and these are invite only sessions. And if you have a certain number of years of experience or above, you would definitely receive an invite to these closed door sessions. So the non-technical tracks are not just limited to the career mastery. We also have additional tracks which will happen as closed door sessions. Like I mentioned, all these tracks are listed in the web page, and all the details pertaining to the tracks are available on the web page. So I please request you to go ahead and take a detailed look at all the tech tracks. And if you do have any queries beyond that, please do write to ABI India, and we would be more than happy to respond to your queries and clarify them. So please do take a look at the tracks, and if you think something is missing there and you're still confused, please do shoot us a note. The next slide talks about the conference as such. This year, we are going to have the conference on 2 days. The first day would have the keynote, followed by the breakout sessions and a CXO panel discussion, and the closed door invite only sessions that I talked about. Similarly, the second day would have breakout sessions for both the tech and the non-tech tracks, then the closed door invite sessions, and the Women Entrepreneurship Quest. The Women Entrepreneurship Quest is again yet another interesting session to attend. Even if you can't participate in that, please do attend the session, because it's very, very exciting and interesting to see different women entrepreneurs come in and present their story of success and how they reached wherever they are now. So it's an inspiring session. Please do attend that. Okay, this is the most important slide on the deck: how to make a great submission. So this is going to give you some tips about how you can make a great submission. This is not all comprehensive, but definitely you can take away some of the tips to ensure that your submission qualifies as a good one. The first and the foremost thing that you need to do is you have to look at the appropriate track that you want to submit your proposal into. And once you have decided on the track, please think about the format that you want to go with. Like I mentioned, there are about 4 formats that are submitted across different tracks. So please think about uh, what format would fit your topic in mind. Then post that, you need to kind of figure out if the topic is going to be something which is new, which would kind of attract a lot of audience, or was it already something which was presented previously in the last year's GHCI. If there was a similar topic which was already presented and the content that you submit is not very different from what was submitted, then we would not be able to select it, because there's nothing new in the content that we are going to present in the conference. So please go over the prior year's tracks, submissions, and ensure that whatever you're submitting is something new. It's not something which is redundant, which is kind of something which is repetitive. So please do that cross check. The other important thing is including video links from your previous speaking engagements as a part of your submission. If you don't have anything which is available on YouTube or any other open video platform, please do get a friend to shoot a video of your presentation and do send it to us. How this is going to help us is we would be able to figure out if there are changes that you need to do in your speaking skills, how good a speaker you are, and whether the kind of format that you have submitted would suit your speaking skills. So we would be able to make a better judgment of your presentation or submission. So please do ensure that you incorporate some video links from your previous speaking engagements along with your submission. The other important thing this year, which is something we have introduced only this year, is there can be only one submission from one person. You cannot submit multiple submissions, even if it is something which is across different tracks. So please do ensure that you think about one topic, which is the prime topic that you want to focus on. Put all your energy into it and go ahead and submit it. Please do not submit the same topic across different tracks, or please don't make more than one submission, because if you're going to do that, then you would get a reject notification for the second submission. So please do think through on which is the topic that you want to go ahead with, and go ahead and submit the topic. So this might appear like a constraint in your mind, but this is primarily because we want to give opportunities to more people to submit and come in and present. That's the prime reason we brought in this constraint. So please do think through the topic that you want to submit and then go ahead with it. So one other thing that I want to mention before we go to the next slide is I have taken you through a set of slides now. If you have any questions which have not been addressed, please do post the questions in the live chat session. We would respond to your questions. So if you have any questions on what was presented so far, please do go ahead and post those in the live chat session. Uh, uh, so I would continue with how to make a great submission. Some of these some of these tips I've already covered. Uh, the other important thing, which is in the current slide, is frame your submission at a conceptual level instead of talking about a specific product in your organization. So this again is very, very important. There are many people who talk about products in their organization. We would definitely not be interested to hear about specific products. We would rather be interested to hear about the technology that goes behind the product rather than the product. So please do frame your submission in the right way. Um, because unless you do it, even though the submission is a good submission, we might not be able to take it, because it does not talk about the actual technology. The main aim of the conference is to focus on technology and not on the end product. These are some of the main tips. I am sure there'll be 100 other tips on how to make a great submission, but these are the basics which would really help you to at least get to the stage where you compete with other great submissions that come in. So please do make a note of all these tips and ensure that you follow through all these, so that you topic does not get outright rejected. The next slide talks about the early bird review. So the early bird review is something which I talked about earlier too. If you make a submission before the 5th of May, your submission would qualify for an early bird review, and this early bird review would give you some feedback which will help you improve your proposal. It does not in any way guarantee that your submission will be selected into the conference. It's only an opportunity for you to get your submission reviewed by some of the reviewers so that you're able to make it better. So please do look at this date. We don't have much time before 5th May, but if you still have some kind of proposal or thought flow in mind, and if you can put together some abstract and submit before the 5th May, we would definitely give you first cut feedback. So original research is one other thing which is new this year. We are willing to accept proposals which are original research, and there is a form separately available for original research. So if your submission or proposal is going to fall under this category of original research, please do use this form to submit your original research. And the submission for this should be primary sources of scientific literature, and it should be an original study from your end. So if you really think that you have something which qualifies for this, please use the separate form which is available for original research, and go ahead and submit your proposal. That's it. I think I've taken you through the basics for how to make a great submission, how to participate in GHC, and what are the different ways and means in which you could go ahead and put ahead your proposal. Like I already mentioned, if you have any queries, please do write to us at ABI India, and we would definitely get back to you so that we can help you make the right submission.
Okay. Thanks very much, Divya. We'll take some questions. We've got the live chat going. So we are looking at that, and we are taking your questions. So the first question is from Krishnamurti. I'm submitting a proposal for a panel. Another friend of mine is including me to support her workshop. Is it allowed? So as Divya has already mentioned, we are limiting submissions to one submission per person. It does not matter what role you play in that submission, whether you're an author or a panelist or a workshop facilitator. You are limited to one submission item per person. So the tool itself will not allow you to submit as an author for a presentation paper and as a workshop facilitator, for example. So please ensure that you work on one single submission which you feel is the most appropriate and relevant to the conference, and work on that and submit that. So Lena asked the question, when do we expect the result of the submission in case we have submitted before 5th May? So if you submit before 5th May, that falls under the early bird deadline. So if you're submitting before that, you will get an early bird review done of your paper, and you can use that feedback to improve your submission before the final deadline, which is June the 2nd. So what will happen is that you would receive the feedback around mid-May, the week of the May the 15th, and then you would have approximately 2 weeks to make any changes to your submission based on that feedback, and you'll have to make a final submission by June the 2nd to be considered for the final review process and selection into the conference. The next question we have from Nandini NR. Can we make a submission on the same topic or same paper as previous years? So yes, you could potentially make the same submission again. Please do look at the feedback that you received the last time and why the reviewers felt that they could not select it for that year. So do consider that before submitting the same topic again. Otherwise, you may run into the same feedback from the reviewers this time around as well. So please consider that point, whether they rejected it based on it having been presented before at the conference, or there is some data missing. Whatever the feedback was, please refer to that and then take a call whether it's worth submitting the same paper again to the conference this year. Sindhu asks, what is the link to see last year's presentations? So on our YouTube channel, which you're on right now, you can view the presentations and the workshops and all the sessions from last year and previous years before that. You will be able to also look at through the archives on our GHCI page. So that's ghci.anitaborg.org. You'll be able to look through the archive section and look at all the past papers that have been submitted and all the conference programs from before. So that will help you make a decision on what your topic should be and what has already been presented at the conference, so that we avoid repetition of the same topics. Anything else that is coming up? One second. Okay. Does poster session also get early bird review? Himani asks. Yes, the posters also get early bird reviews done. So do submit before 5th of May to take advantage of that feedback. A paper written on professional and personal experience, does that come under original research? So the original research is something that represents an original study. There is an expectation of scientific methodology and structure to that paper, as any other new scientific study is presented. So even if it is based on professional and personal experience, if you have data and analysis that makes for a credible case, then that would be eligible for that. Next question is from Tulasi. Is there a constraint that presenters and authors must only be female, or can co-authors and presenters be male as well? So yes, there is no constraint as such that presenters must be female. You can have co-authors and co-presenters who are male. This conference, that being said, this conference is designed to give women in technology a platform to showcase their work, and that is also taken into consideration when we are doing the selection for the program. So that's something to keep in mind. Chintu Joseph asked the question, where can I find previous year's presentations and videos? We've covered that. That's on the website as well as this YouTube channel. You can get access to all the presentations and sessions from the previous years from these two sources. Vindhya asked the question, where can we find the template for submission? So if you go to the website and under call for submissions, you can see the call for submissions link right there on the screen. You will be able to access the session formats, and that will give you templates for the different types of submissions that you can make, as well as the guidelines for the length and what we're expecting in each template format. The next question comes from Naina Tekchandani. Can we submit 2 papers? No, we've already covered this. 1 submission per person in any role that they may have, whether it's author, panelist, workshop facilitator, or any such. So 1 submission per person. Samichi asked the question, can we submit a core technical submission? Yes, you can. You're saying that my work domain is not included in the submission category. So please look at the track descriptions. Divya talked about them in some brief detail, just to give you an overview of what goes into each track. But the tracks are pretty broad, and we have worked to allow them to capture the broad and the breadth of what comes under the technology industry and what we as technologists work on. So please do take a look at that and see. There should be a track that your work would fall under, hopefully. And do write to us at abiindia@anitaborg.org if you find that that's not the case. Shilpi Mittal asked the question, early bird submission is till 5th May or till 4th May? It's 5th May till 5th May, 11:59 p.m. on 5th of May. Himani asked the question, What is the main difference between original research and poster session? Can I submit my research proposal in both? You cannot submit your research proposal in both. Everything is, as I said, we are expecting only or accepting only one submission per person. So if you submit to poster, then you would not submit to original research. And we are here to help you make that decision if you find that you cannot decide where your work belongs. So please do write to us and we can help you out on that. The main difference between original research and poster is that original research can take multiple formats. You can present your research in a presentation, which is about a 1 hour long session, or in lightning talk format. So say you work as part of a research group and you're working on machine learning algorithms, you might want to present 3 or 4 of them in as 10-minute talks as part of a lightning talk series. So that might be one format, or you might want to do a workshop based on the research that you're doing. So an original research paper can take multiple different delivery formats, whereas the poster is limited to just a poster presentation at the conference. That's the main difference. Mayaloka asked the question, where is GHCI being held this year? GHCI 17 is being held at the Bangalore International Exhibition Center, which is along Tumkur Road, just further down from the Taj Vivanta, where we've been for the past 2 or 3 years. So it's along the same, it's in the same area as before. Vindhya, if I submit by May 10th, can this be considered for early bird review? No, Vindhya, the submission must reach us by, or must be submitted in complete state, not just draft state, on the Linklinks tool by the 5th of May, 11:59 p.m. to be considered for early bird. Um, Nirmal asked the question, I could not view the live streaming. Can I have access to the recording? This link that you're watching us on right now, this is a record. This is going to be recorded, and you will be able to watch back and hear the entire presentation that Divya gave on this link. What is the difference between a presenter and workshop facilitator? This is from Namrata. A presenter will be presenting a presentation session. A presentation session typically lasts for 60 minutes with 50 minutes of talk and 10 minutes for Q&A. And a workshop can be from anywhere from 1 hour to about 2 hours. And it is more of a hands-on session. So a workshop facilitator would be somebody who would be running the workshop, and a presenter would be uh, uh, hosting a presentation session. So there are two different types of session formats, and that's why there are two different names given to the people who are running them. Um, Sandhya asked the question, the archives only show the last year videos. Can GHCI publish a couple of selected papers also, which might help aspirants get a better idea of how to make good selectable papers? So because the work that is submitted to the conference is the personal property of the authors, we are not authorized to share that information with you. To help you, there are templates on our website. So the templates can help give you an idea about how your submission can be structured, and it will give you more insight into what would go into a good submission. Divya has also covered really good points in terms of the originality, what we look for. So originality, novelty of the paper, the relevance and into the track, relevance to the audience, which is the women in technology. So please do consider all those things. The archives should show not only last year's videos, but also videos from 2015, 2014, and further back. So please do take a look at that. You can also look at the conference schedules from the previous years on our website, and that might also help you get an idea of the sessions that have already taken place at the conference before. This is the next question is on what is covered in invite-only sessions and who generally would be the invitees for it. So on what basis are these invitees selected? So the invite-only sessions are typically targeted to a certain audience. We target it to the either senior women leadership or back to work women, or campus student, campus to corporate, so the student population. There are different audiences for each of the invite-only sessions, and those are changed every year, and we try and address a wide range of topics there. So the basis of the selection of the invitees are based on the audience that we're trying to reach with that session. Chintu asks, can we register to attend the conference if not a presenter? Yes, definitely. You can, you should, and we really hope to see you all at the conference. So do register for the conference. The registration details should go up a little later in the cycle. So please do take a look at that, and you will be able to find the registration details on the website once registration is available. The next question. Do selected papers get free entry to present, or selected authors have to pay the registration fee? So the selected papers, they do get the selected papers, and the authors do get passes to the conference, and in some cases there are discounted registration codes for certain categories of people. So that is available for the selected papers. Nandini asked the question, can I change my paper topic after early bird? So typically, I don't think you would want to do that. You would want to give in your final paper topic as the early bird for the early bird review. That will help you to get good feedback on that, and then be able to improve it before the final submission date of June the 2nd. So I would suggest that you stick to the topic that you're planning to present finally at the conference. How many can participate for the poster session? So usually, typically, it's not more than 2 or 3 authors for a paper, for a poster. That the content of a poster cannot is not very substantial, so it should not take more than 2 or 3 people to put it together. You can, however, with each poster, there would only be one designated presenter at the session, at the conference. So if your poster gets selected, then please do designate who would be the representative who would be presenting that poster on the day of the conference. The next question, if I submit after May 5th, will my topic be considered for submissions? Not for early bird though. Yes, exactly, Muni. If you submit after the 5th of May, your topic will definitely be considered and given the same weightage as any other topic that's been submitted. Of course, it cannot be eligible for early bird feedback. That's the only difference. So yes, it will be considered and considered on par with any other paper. Does the poster submission need to be research work? Tripti asks. The poster submission does not need to be research work. It could be some other project that you're working on. It doesn't need to be original research per se. Lena asked the question, how are the reviewers selected for the submissions? So we have a curation and nomination process for the reviewers. The reviewers are subject matter experts in the areas relating to the different tracks that are there. And they are, in most cases, individuals with more than 10 to 15 years of experience in the field. So we have very qualified set of reviewers this year, and as we've had in the past years. So that's how we do selection for the reviewers. Rekha asked the question, is it enough we submit the abstract for the early bird review? The typically the submission form asks for the abstract as well as a proposal, the final 3-page proposal of your session. If the information is incomplete, the reviewers will not be able to give you valuable feedback on the submission. So it would be in your interest, I think, to put together as much of the proposal as possible, preferably the full proposal, to get the best feedback from the reviewers. That will really help them to understand your session, what you're proposing, and give you feedback on how you can improve it before the final deadline. Shirisha asked the question, what information should I cover in the paper? The exact presentation given on the conference or just broader idea? So yes, Shirisha, you should cover the exact presentation that you plan to give the conference. Of course, we understand that these things would change and would evolve over time as we get closer to the conference. But the main salient concepts of the presentation and what you plan to cover should be covered in your proposal, in your submission. Anupma asked the question, if we have an idea, is there a constraint that we have to use only open source technology to build it? And it is not showcasing that company's product. So I think this is a couple of things that you've covered here. There is no constraint that you have to use open source technology to showcase your idea or your concept. You could have used proprietary tools. However, if you're talking about a specific thing that you built for your company or a company product, you should be able to extract general technical concepts or technical information or theory or implementation from that would be applicable in relevant industry scenarios. So if you have built a machine learning algorithm and used it in a certain context within your company, that algorithm could probably be applicable in multiple different ways. And that's how we're talking about the generality of the technology that you've built and not just the very specific thing about the company's product and the way that you have used it. So the focus of the paper should always be on the general concepts, the technology built, and on that side rather than the specific company products. That would be the way that the reviewers can evaluate how valuable this topic would be for a broader technical audience. Rekha asks, can the authors for the poster submissions be from the same company? Yes, they can be from the same company. No restriction on that. They can also be from different organizations altogether. You're not restricted to work with individuals just from your organization. Sindhu asked the question, what exactly does the reviewer look into the presentation? What are the criteria considered, especially for non-technical track? You want to look, Divya, you're a long-time reviewer. You want to say what the reviewers look for in the presentations?
So basically, when it comes to non-technical, one of the mistakes the authors do is they kind of pick a topic which is repetitive, which is already been covered multiple times. So when you're making a non-technical submission, please ensure that the content there is something which is going to be interesting for the audience. Maybe something like mindfulness at workplace, or something which is different in terms of addressing the current day challenges. For example, you could cover how to handle millennials at workplace, or something different about it. If you pick a topic which has been covered multiple times already, and if you talk only about the set of points which have been already covered or which everybody knows, then it does not make logical sense for us to pick that topic, right? Because end of the day, the attendees of the conference should have something to take away from that session. So please do, think about all that. And even if the topic is something which has already been presented, if there is something new about it which you can share during that 30-minute session or 45-minute session, please do highlight that particular part which is new, so that that will make it interesting for the audience, and that will make it help us pick the submission.
Yeah, very good points there. Gitanjali asked the question, what is the final deadline? The final deadline for the submissions is June the 2nd. That's a Friday, 11:59 p.m. on June the 2nd. So please get your submissions in by June the 2nd. Even if you don't make the deadline for early bird, the 5th of May, you still have to June the 2nd to be considered for the conference, for your submission to be considered. Vaishnavi, for the early bird review, do we mail the poster to the mail address you mentioned? No, Vaishnavi. For all your submissions, anything that you submit to the conference, please make use of our links conference submission tool. The links to that are on the call for submissions web page. That's the link that we had shown earlier, and we'll bring it up for the final part of this session. Please go there and access the tool. You will have to create a login ID on that tool, and there is a submission form for each of the different submission formats, whether it's presentation, workshop, panel, etc. And you will be able to work through that, attach your proposal in a PDF or a document, Microsoft Word document format, and that will be how we'll accept it. For posters, will also follow that same format. I think you accept PPTs also for poster or PDFs?
No, it's just PDF and doc.
PDF and doc for posters. So please do send in everything, nothing to email IDs. Everything goes through the conference submission tool, and that's how we can ensure that your submission is secure and that we review it in a fair, credible, and secure fashion, and get the feedback to you in the same manner. Dhruva asked the question, would there be previous participants' contact list and their topic title be available for our reference? So due to data privacy issues, we cannot share lists of previous participants and their contacts. The topics and the presenters their details are available on our website through the archive section. You can look for their contact details if they're available publicly, and feel free to get in touch with them if you want to do so that way. We would not be able to share any of the data regarding our previous participants. Yeah, where can you see the papers of 2015 and 14 and ensure that we do not repeat the content? If you look at if you just search in Google for GHCI 2015 conference schedule, you will be able to find that information. Naina says, can we submit PPTs for paper presentations? No, Naina, we only accept PDFs and document formats, Microsoft Word documents. You can convert a PPT into a PDF fairly simply. Just do a print to PDF or a save to PDF to be able to submit it in that format. Nandini asked the question: any feedback on lightning topics on technical, non-technical? So the lightning talk is a very interesting kind of session, and it can be structured in a couple of different ways. The lightning talk, as the name implies a talk of about 10 minutes, and because the session time frames are about an hour. 1 hour can host about 4 to 5 lightning talks, and typically there are multiple ways to group it, but they should be grouped according to a theme or a subject or a topic. That's the intention of the lightning talks. So, for example, last year we had lightning talk sessions on autonomous vehicles, and which covered different aspects of them. So they covered the sensing technology, the regulatory requirements, and all sorts of topics around that, the main topic of autonomous vehicles. So that's one way to structure lightning talks. Another way it has been done before at the conference is, for example, the theme of near field communication, and then there was 5 presenters who explored different types of near field technologies like Zigbee and etc. And RFID, etc. So you can look at those kind of ways to structure lightning talks. Like I said, you could structure it around 4 or 5 machine learning algorithms, and how they relate to each other. How you could analyze data, the same data in different ways using different algorithms. So things like that. The 4 lightning talks or 5 lightning talks typically are focused around a central theme, and when they come together, then they give a nice broad perspective, both depth and breadth, on the subject. So that's the structure of the lightning talks. Can you walk us through the first 2 slides quickly, as many of us missed it? Muni, we'll just come back to that. We'll put up the first 2 slides as well as the last slide with the links to the email ID as well as the website. We'll move on to Himani's question. Is there any particular format for poster? Should it be in 1 column or 2 column format? Divya, you want to? Okay.
So actually, the confusion comes with poster primarily because of the way it gets represented or presented in the conference. When you make a poster submission, all you need to focus on is putting together a document or a PDF, which will have all the details, which will go into the final poster. When you submit the initial proposal, you don't have to really look at what kind of a poster format you will be, putting together for the final conference. You just need to put together the content which will help you get to the conference. The actual poster will be prepared and will be presented only in the conference. So right now, just look at the topic that you have in mind and try to put together a document or a PDF which will capture all the thoughts that you have with respect to the topic and go ahead and submit. If it gets selected, we will give you the format in which the poster needs to be put together, and the poster will be presented only on the day of the conference.
Okay, wonderful. Purna asked the question regarding workshops. What kind of technology can we focus on, proprietary or open source? Any further guidelines or technical workshops would be helpful. Do the archives have the previous year's workshop contents? So yes, Purna, the archives do have the previous year's workshop contents, and that would be a good place for you to start to look at what kind of technical workshops can be hosted or submitted to the conference for consideration. If you focus on proprietary technology, you would have to, since a workshop is a hands-on session, you would have to provide for that technology in order for people to be able to participate in the workshop. So please do consider that. Open source technology is typically more easily available, and there is less setup requirement for that. So do consider that while when you're looking at proprietary versus open source technology for your workshop, and what is the easiest way for you to be able to conduct that workshop for a audience which will be doing hands-on work with that. So that's a good question, and do consider that. And please look at the previous year's workshops to see what has been done before, and what technologies have been used. That will give you a good idea of what's possible. Any other questions? Once again, you can put them into the live chat stream, and we can take them up. Um, if While we're waiting for to see if any other questions come up, we'll just go back to the first two slides and just cover the main details of the conference. So So this is the first few slides for anyone who might have joined late. The Anita Borg Institute runs the Grace Hopper Celebration India, GHCI, and we aim to connect, inspire, and guide women in computing and organizations that view uh, technology innovation as an imperative. So we focus on building a community around women in technology, and the conference is our flagship event, and it really helps to bring together the women in technology community. We hope that you can get inspired by each other, you can network with each other, form great personal and professional connections, and that will help you grow your career as a women technologist in India. The next slide was that we're the largest conference for women in India, one of the top tech conferences, as recognized by various media sources. And for this year, the conference will be held on November 16th and 17th. That's a Thursday and Friday at the Bangalore International Exhibition Center. As we've already mentioned, it's along the Tumkur Road area, where just further down from the Taj Vivanta, where we've been for the past 2 or 3 years. So you can mark your calendars and be sure to join us there. And this is Divya talked to this slide about just the level of participation and from all sectors. We've had close to 3,000 participants last year, and we'll probably be very close to 4,000 this year. We have a range of participation from all levels of academic and career experience. We have student scholars, all the way from student scholars to industry professionals who are just starting entry level to mid-career, senior level, executive leadership, and so on. More than 300 organizations are involved with GHCI. We had 43 sponsors last year, and we have a very robust and very committed team of close to 300 volunteers who work diligently the entire year to put together this conference. We can't do it without them, and we can't do it without our submitters. Close to 2,000 submissions, as Divya mentioned, all very high quality, great submissions, and that makes the task even more difficult for us to be able to really pick out the good quality, highly relevant and state-of-the-art papers for the conference, which we aim to, and those are our mandates, to bring you quality technology work across the industry done by women technologists. So last year we had 86 sessions in total, and more than 210 unique speakers at the conference. And we hope to give a lot more of you the opportunity this year to participate. We'll go back to questions. One presentation per person applies to workshop and posters too. Yes, one presentation per person applies across all submission formats, including workshops, posters, panel, original research, presentation, and lightning talks. If you are a student, then you can also apply for a student scholarship. You should be a final year student or higher, doing your master's or PhD. And there is a separate student scholarship application which you can access through our website. Uh, the other way that women can participate, if you're a technology entrepreneur and one of the founding members of your company, then you would also be eligible to participate in the Women Entrepreneurship Quest. That is an entrepreneurship competition for women, and it is conducted as part of the GHCI conference schedule. The details on that will be available in a couple of months' time once that process for that starts. Tejaswini, if the topic submitted for Lightning Talk does not fall under one particular content, is it considered? So, like I had mentioned before, that the lightning talk would have a single lightning talk would have some broader theme which it could connect to, and if you are able to find one or two or three other speakers who have similar or contrasting or complementary views on the topic, then that would really enhance your lightning talk submission. If you just submit your own lightning talk as a standalone lightning talk submission, that may not be enough for it to come together as part of a lightning talk series. Himani, I'm graduating this year in June. Can I apply for student scholarship? Yes, Himani, if you're a final year student, then you can apply for student scholarship. Any other questions we have, please feel free to use our live chat feature and we can take them up right now. So I think we're done with questions. Okay, I'll just bring up the final slides here. One more question. Let me just get to the final slide, then we can cover that. Final one with the details of the website. a couple more questions as we're just scrolling till the end of the presentation. Lena asks, I have one question regarding reviewer committee. What is the process to get onboarded if I would like to be part of the review committee? Um, the uh, the process would be that we usually have a call for nominations at the early part of the year. So you should look out next year in January, February timeframe for the reviewer nomination and call for reviewer process. That should start around that time. Nandini asks, how is the lightning talk theme decided or categorized? Nandini, that's really up to the submitters. So let me be very clear. We are not doing the categorization or the thematic building of the lightning talks at our end. We are expecting the submitter to come up with a theme which is relevant. For example, if it's emerging tech, then you could take something like autonomous vehicles, which is an emerging technology area, and build a lightning talk series around that, which covers different aspects of that technology and how it will impact um, uh, uh, our lifestyle and the people using it. So you can build it in multiple different ways. There's a lot of flexibility in the lightning talk sessions, and Divya, you want to give some
Yeah,
input on
one
that?
of the things you could do is if you are working on a particular technology and you have a few colleagues of yours who are also working in the same area, what you could do is the three or four of you could join together and pick different small topics which would finally align to a particular theme, and then submit all of them together. So in the end, you would have four topics focusing on a particular technology. And since all of you are working on the same technology, it will be easier for you to split and cover the different topics which cover an underlying theme for Lightning Talk series. So you could plan with your colleagues, and you could pick a few of them who can join hands with you and then submit a varied set of topics which would come together as a particular theme. That is one of the ways to go ahead with the Lightning Talk series.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good way to go about it, and that allows you to also, if your research is not something that could be a 60-minute long presentation, allows you to group with other people and then present a holistic view of maybe what you are doing day to day at your company and achieving as a group. So that's or if you have a research group and you wanted to showcase the research within your group, then you could use that format to do that as well. So three or four of you could get together and talk about various aspects of the research you're performing. Okay, are lightning talks only for technical topics? Nandini asks. No, lightning talks can also happen in the non-technical side. um, uh, you could look at the theme of work-life balance, and you could build topics around that or any such thing. The idea around the lightning talks is that when a talk is not a standalone talk for a duration of 60 minutes, or it's a short talk, but it's a valuable piece of information to be shared with the audience, then how can we thematically bring other topics around that so that the audience gets a holistic understanding of that area? So you could create themes out of non-technical topics as well. Please do go to the website. The details are now up on the stream again. So go to the call for submissions page. You will be able to see subtopics under career mastery, which is our non-technical track, and you could choose to submit a lightning talk series for that track. Okay, so any other questions, please write to us at abi-india@anitaborg.org, and we will be happy to answer your questions. And do visit our website. A lot of the information that we shared today is available on the website, including the session formats, the templates, best practices for making your submission. Do refer to that so that you have a good idea of what the submission process entails. We hope this session was useful to you, and we really look forward to receiving your submissions. If not by the 5th of May deadline, which is this Friday, definitely by the June 2nd deadline. And we hope to see all of you at the conference in November. Last question we'll cover. Srisha asks, can we add submission, which is application of a particular algorithm and particular technologies in lightning talks? Yes, Srisha, you can add a submission, an application. Maybe you can look at how different applications of that particular algorithm, and that could be a may a header theme for that entire set of lightning talks. So it would be really good to build out an overall thematic approach to lightning talks, so that yeah, for you would have a more in-depth and a deeper understanding of the area versus just a 10-minute lightning talk. That is the idea. I hope that answers your question. Thank you everyone for joining us, and this session will be available as a recording online at the same URL. So feel free to watch back and to share it with other colleagues of yours who might be interested in making a submission and could not join today. We really look forward to hearing from you and to seeing your submissions. And I'd like to say a special thanks to Divya for taking us through the submissions process and the call for submissions procedures. Thank you very much, Divya, for joining us. And we'll say bye for now. Thank you very much.